Hello, Sangha. Welcome to the Abbots Address. Today is September 21st, 2015. I'd like to address a comment that came in. Recently, there's been some shifting and some growth that's been happening in the community, namely that we've got a new Shokan process that's unfolding and how that's starting to look. And somebody wrote in and said, oh God, more layers of organization and more. I miss the good old days. Why can't we just, just kind of show up and sit and leave and just let it be like that? So I'd like to talk about that just a little bit. I can totally remember feeling that way once upon a time. And it's a very earnest place. It's a very sincere place. And in fact, for that person or people who feel that way, you can just ignore all this stuff and just keep doing that. Just show up and sit and leave, and that's fine, no worries. You can do that. But I remember a dialogue I had with my teacher, James Ford Roshi, about this. And I have to say I've really learned an immense amount from him in terms of organization and everything. And I remember we were having conversation, this is years ago, about the Toledo group and how things were organized and stuff like that. And I think I said something similar. I think I said something like, well, why does it have to be, so organized? Something like that. And he just kind of looked at me and said, well, if you want to be able to help more people, it needs to be. And that it kind of hit me. It kind of stopped me. I remember, the depth of what that is actually took some time to kind of sink into me and to actually digest and make sense. And now I think I've drunk that particular Kool-Aid fully. I think it's really true that if we're going to have a reach that's beyond just a very small number of people, that there needs to be organization, and there needs to be, in fact, institution, and there has to be organizational processes and so on. And I think this is not new. I think if we were to look at the history of the Dharma and sort of tune in to any kind of era, century, or culture, there's going to be some kind of organization that's going on for sure. And that will look wildly different from culture to culture and century to century. But there's always some kind of an organized way of moving things through. Now, I'm sure there's times where it's just, the romantic stories of the wandering Zen master or the woman selling cakes by the side of the road, and it's all very kind of Taoist and freeform and floating, and that's fine. I think that's fine. But there's also the monasteries, and that's not all free floating. So Dogen's monastery is not all just free floating. It's a very organized thing. Now, anytime you have an organization, there's always going to be some kind of a shadow side to that. I mean, anything that stands in the sun is going to cast a shadow, and any kind of an organization is going to have some kind of a definition to it. And no matter what, there's going to be some folks that don't like that definition, or for whom it's not a good fit. But that doesn't mean that therefore there should be no organization. That it should be just completely freeform. That actually is a kind of a tyranny. That is a kind of there's kind of a tyranny of chaos there. And frankly, in Zen training, what's very important is that we confront this actual business of the ego, this business of the false, delusive sense of self. And one of the ways that we kind of buff up and protect that mask that we have is in this kind of a no one can tell me anything, everyone's opinion is absolutely equal about all things, and there are no requirements for anything. Well, I wasn't trained that way. None of my teachers have been trained that way, and it certainly wouldn't pass muster with me, because we're thinking in terms of how does the Dharma actually plant and root and develop and grow and spread down in generations, not just what's comfortable for me today and what fits my schedule. So therefore, organization. And the level we're at right now is, it's going to be, we're kind of rolling out these newer levels of being involved in the community and recognizing some commitment to depth of practice in a particular way. And this is really important because, frankly, that kind of practice is necessary to the health of the Dharma. Well, I mean, the Dharma is fine, but for us as people to practice and to realize and to make sure that this thing can persist through time, they're absolutely critical. So, so there we are. Some thoughts this morning on the necessity, the mandate even to have institution and to have organization. Completely understanding that some people that's just not going to be what they want to do, and that's okay. But thinking big picture and long term, this is work that needs doing, and it's sometimes difficult. It's sometimes, it pulls on the heartstrings in different ways, but that's good. That's not a bad thing. That's fantastic. Welcome to Zen practice. So now in terms of announcements, this Thursday we have session beginning. So I'm really looking forward to session. I'm just so ready for a session, and I'm really looking forward to practicing with everyone. So let's all make this a nice, strong practice period together, and we'll see you in the Zendo. Thanks, everybody.